Well, the thing is, the news at 10 doesn't contain detailed explanations, as you just
No,
put
but
it,
you
or
do
else
have a duty. You have a duty to...
We'll run out of time on that. It's programs that we could ask questions for the benefit of those who don't understand it. So
No,
that's
look,
why those
I'm
questions
not making it specific to you. I mean,
Yeah,
the reality, of course, is that all media houses, you know, read what central bank gives them to read. And so you, unfortunately, misinform the public to make the public believe that somebody is doing them good when it's actually ripping them off.
By just reading or reporting what CBN has said?
The media voice is a voice of authority. So people believe what the media says. I mean,
that is why we had to call people like you, economists, to tell him. And even though he works for CBN, he still disagrees with you. He says...
No, he's free to disagree, but fortunately, God has given you minds to evaluate who is telling the truth. I'm not making this up.
It's actually for the people out there to say who's telling the truth. So we just put what they've said out there. But back to this, because would there be anything wrong if they were to redenominate the currency?
You see, don't get it wrong. You see, what they have done is introduce a higher denomination. You are absolutely right. Redenomination could have, you know, been expedient as well. In which case, for example, the 50 naira note could become 50 kobo. And once that happens, you would find that kobo coins will become applicable once more, okay, by knocking off 2 zeros or whatever. But the point I'm making is that if you go that route also, eventually you would have, you still have inflationary tendency within your system, you'd have a problem, just like Ghana did. Ghana had a 20,000 CD note, which was $2. But at the end of the day, when they redenominated, they knocked off 4 zeros. I'm not saying we should do so. When they knocked off 4 zeros, what did they have? They had 1 CD was equivalent to $1.1 about 4 years ago. Today, because the underlying malaise had not been attended to, you now have the currency depreciating by over 50%. Because why? The monetary policy framework is defective, just as ours here. A situation where you say that the banks have no money to lend to the real sector, and you, the central bank or the government, call it what you will, is busy borrowing money at 15%, money that it doesn't need because of a faulty monetary policy framework, which engenders excess liquidity. The question you should be asking is that this excess liquidity safe, what in the cost, and how come it not the end? You know, why is it unending for 30 years? Where are you mopping it up all the time? Then the answer will come to you that somebody must be putting it there. And the question is, who is putting it there? And then you answer. At the end of every month, they do federal allocations. And you wonder, how does that happen? Oh, 80% of that allocation really is supposed to be dollars. So what happens to the dollars? Oh, yeah, our central bank captures it and changes it at whatever rate it wants, and then packs naira in the hands of the 3 tiers of government, and they have no option but to put it in the hands of the banks. And the banks say, hallelujah, we have funds. And they're in a position to extend their credit capacity. But then central bank comes in and says, if we allow this to happen, we have problems. We have to mop it up. We have to take this money out of the system quickly. So they are talking from both sides of the mouth.
But what would you have the central bank do, knowing that, you know, it seems to be caught in a very peculiar situation as well?
Excellent. What I've been saying for 10 years. First, it is unconstitutional for central bank to capture the dollar earnings of the country and unilaterally substitute naira. This is the poison in the system. The Constitution, Section 162 of the Constitution, implies or dictates that all money should be put into a federation pool. It didn't say Lagos State cannot keep a domiciliary account and have dollar account. It didn't say the Delta State cannot do so. It didn't say anybody has to, first of all, convert the earnings into a currency of his choice and then distribute.
Was it specific in terms of how and what denomination or what currency that should be?
No, this section 162 says all funds should be consolidated in a revenue and shared accordingly. So, it didn't say that the ones end in yens must be converted. I mean, you can imagine if the central bank, the Bank of England, says all exporters or something in England, whatever they earn, whatever currency, give it to me first of all. I will convert it and give you a currency of my choice. Because you see, what is happening is that is the source of your excess liquidity. And that is what necessitates CBN's mopping up at 15% money that they don't need. Let them say that what they mop up is money that they use.
What do you think will be the ripple effect of that if every state or every person who is a part of that federation account or who benefits from it is allowed to own a domiciliary account?
They are allowed to own a domiciliary account.
What do you think will happen if it's shared in dollars,
if you can
for
have
instance?
a domiciliary account, why should not a state government have a domiciliary account? And who should tell them when or when not to spend the dollars that they earn? Who should tell them that they must convert the dollars into naira all at once and create the ripple in the system? Because it means, you see, what that means, I think we all accept that we have been getting poorer over the years, okay? But do you understand how we can be getting poorer when we earn more? For a very simple reason, that in order to transform your economy, there are various indices which must be at play. And unless these indices are there, you can talk grammar from here till tomorrow, it won't happen. And those indices are a minimal rate of inflation, certainly not 10, 12%. Interest rates at a rate that industries can perform, not the one that government is busy competing with the real sector, and the government is borrowing at 15%. Why would the banks look at you? And the banks are lucky because at the end of the day, the same government puts money in their hands and goes back to borrow it back, whether it's government or central bank. I'm not going to go into that argument. But whether it's government or central bank, they go back and borrow the money that they don't need.